Jump complete. Emilia, do this the honor and crank those sensors up to 11.
Aye, aye, Captain. Give me just a minute to calibrate.
Hey, while Emilia works her magic, BB, why don't you tell us how your birthday was?
Oh, that's right. Happy belated, Bridget.
Oh my God, thank you guys. Well, in case you didn't know, August is my birth month, so of course we've been doing something every single day of the week to celebrate. But
Of course.
specifically on my actual birthday, I wanted to be very low key, so my friends and I flew to Dubai, so we could like meet some rich guys and then race around in race cars.
Oh,
So that
nice.
was Friday. Then we flew back, and then I was like, you know what? I just feel like I want something simple. Let's just go out to dinner. So then, like, eight of us got on a jet and we flew to Vegas. And then, of course, when we got to Vegas, it's 3 hours behind. So then we got an additional 3 hours. So it was like my
That's
birthday
the
what
worst
like
part.
transcended 2 days. And then we were in Vegas, and honestly, like I thought I'd have a little more birthday luck, but I only won like $15,000 on a slot
Uh,
machine.
Sorry to interrupt,
Oh,
Bridget. I know I didn't get you a present on the day, but I might have just gotten you the best gift of all. I'm picking up on massive amounts of cosmic rays in this universe, which can only mean one thing, guys. Fantastic Four!
oh.
OMG. It is. I am seeing images of Chris Evans on my console in his number one most amazing superhero role, Johnny Blaze.
What? Best role? I feel like you just insulted all of America with that hot take.
I'm also getting Jennifer Garner as Elektra on my feed. Did we just travel back in time to the early thousands to review the Fantastic Four movies?
Let's
Yes, the
go!
best superhero movies.
This is what we've been waiting for.
All right.
No.
Something is odd about these readings, though, because I'm getting flashes of Fantastic Four, but also X-Men and Blade.
No, there's nothing odd about that. Um, we're obviously in the 20th Century Fox universe, guys.
Well, really? Because I'm also detecting that our timeline is shrinking, or, how should I put it? Being pruned.
Guess that would explain this message we just got.
Attention, travellers! This is the Time Variance Authority. Your unauthorized incursion into the space time continuum has caused a temporal rift. If you do not cease your activities and vacate the affected area immediately, this timeline will be pruned. You have 3 minutes to comply before temporal erasure is initiated. This is your only warning. TVA out.
I know what's happening, and I'm sorry to disappoint you, BB and Emilia, but we're not reviewing the Fantastic Four today. We're reviewing Deadpool and Wolverine.
And I can confirm that we just floated past what I thought was an asteroid, but it's actually a busted up 20th Century Fox logo.
Well, does that mean we are in the Disney universe? And wait, does that make Emily and Bridget Disney princesses?
Yeah, it does.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Bridget, you just cursed. The Disney universe. And Disney, if you're listening, cursing is like cool again, right? Like you've always been the family channel and everything, but it seems like you want to hang out with the cool kids lately, with all the stuff you're doing. So we're here to welcome you and all of your exclusive screeners and all that sweet, sweet sponsor money in anytime. And I mean anytime. You promise to be really good and really cool and not to push your boundaries. So feel free to say the safe word if we start getting like too gay or like offensive to China or like maybe a little overly reflective about your founder's feelings about Black people and Jews. And just we're here for you.
All right. Reel that in, Emilia. Disney's not listening. You know it. I know it. Our audience, the three friends of ours, and our parents who are listening to this, they know it too.
Okay, well, that's a little hurtful there, Lucas, because there's at least four other people listening, if you count our future selves, plus the mysterious Prus.
Wait, that would make 5 other people. BB, do you not even listen to the pod?
I'm a little late to the party, but can I also be a Disney princess?
Of course you can, Norm. And with that, why don't we get back on track?
Yes. Well, this pretty princess is here to tell you that this is Deadpool and Wolverine, the first R-rated Disney superhero movie. And I, for one, am pretty excited for this.
All right, not to piss all over your parade here, but we have a ticking clock with the TVA pruning our timeline and all.
Relax. I'll handle these jabronis. Rest of the crew go watch Deadpool and Wolverine, and we'll reconnect back here in, let's say, a couple hours.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
This is The Verse, a weekly dive into the cinematic universes and beyond. We'll dissect the latest episodes, films, and news all fans from veterans to noobs are dying to know more about. Now, here's our team of pop culture superheroes we call the Verse Squad.
Welcome to the Verse.
So we find a Keystone character on our crew that was supposed to be dead, but accidentally survived. Kill him, or her, and then our timeline won't be pruned. Sounds easy enough.
Just make sure the Keystone death is permanent within the next hour, and we will cancel the prune of your timeline. TVA out.
I'm sorry. Was that the TVA? What did they say?
Oh, just paperwork and formalities, really, no biggie. Shall we begin, guys?
Sure. I'm totally convinced by that explanation. Well, anyways, look, folks, we just need the secondary scripted segment to keep your interest for the entire episode. Gosh, TikTok's really did a number on our attention spans.
I'm Norm.
I'm Lucas.
I'm Bridget, and I'm very suspicious of Norm. Shh.
And I'm Emilia. And this is The Verse News, where we bring you the latest in TV, film, pop culture, and superhero news from across the cinematic universes and beyond. Let's see what the squads come up with this week.
Well, I mean, this is a little bit of old news now. But Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the MCU.
I want to do a spit
Announced-
take. I was almost going to fake it.
it was almost almost. It was announced at San Diego Comic-Con that he will be back in a very fun little reveal that everyone at Comic-Con saw coming, because everyone, while it was being recorded, shouted, "Robert Downey Jr."
Oh boy.
Wait, did they know it like in the moment that he was coming back, or like prior to getting to Comic-Con?
No, in the moment, it was supposed to be the big reveal for the MCU that weekend, was that he was coming back. But apparently everyone in the audience somehow knew.
I
Ow.
wonder if he has a very specific cologne that you could just smell.
Is
just
wafting
coming.
out.
There's like fumes from backstage.
Our
coming out.
DJ. I mean, not that I ever thought this Marvel machine wasn't anything but a money printing machine, right? Like, I had no illusions that that's the purpose of a juggernaut cinematic universe. It just feels so desperate. Like,
No, that's exactly what it is. I hate it. The minute I saw the internet going crazy for it, and I'm like, are you insane? You guys don't want this. I know you don't want
no,
this.
it really feels desperate. Like, come back to us, please. Spend
it's
your
the-
money.
It's the whole, the MCU's too woke. Why can't we go back to how it used to be? And then Disney, again, this is the thing that we said about, that I said sucked about the Star Wars sequels, was that Disney just threw the white flag up and said, okay, a couple people on the internet are upset about this. Give them what they want. Hurry, we're going to lose money.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
I think I saw it and I was just like, that seems like a weird, like that seemed weird, and I didn't know how to feel about it, and like it's a weird Hail Mary, because I'm just like, I don't know, like I thought that, I feel like, with all the complaints about MCU and Disney Plus or whatever, I was like, I don't know, I feel like this franchise is like, I feel like they're doing just fine. People will still
Yes.
go see the movies, like we're not in a tailspin.
What we're
Right?
talking about today is a testament to like what the direction they could be taking. we'll get into it when we talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. But this, yes, thank you. A Hail Mary, weird pass they didn't have to do, desperation. Like, and let's be real, we all love RDJ. Like, he is a great actor. Outside of this one role, like, that's not what made, Marvel great. Wasn't because Robert Downey Jr., the actor playing Iron Man, it was him bringing something to a performance that was really good. And all the other people too, right? Like this
No.
great cast.
I
So like
I have
they haven't really done bad casting. This is just weird.
I have a question because I think my sister
Mhm.
said something to me about this. When they announced that he was coming back, is there a comic or timeline where like Iron Man is Doctor Doom?
No, but there is a arc called Infamous Iron Man that I think they're going to probably take a bunch of pages from.
Okay. But I'm guessing that it's just like the evil version of Tony Stark or something along maybe not Tony Stark exactly, but
Yeah, it's I don't I'm assuming it is going to be like some variant of Tony Stark that isn't named Tony Stark.
This is I'm so
I have a
over it.
I have a funny feeling they're going to go over with this this idea that I don't know if you remember in Age of Ultron because that's like the Avengers movie everyone likes to forget even though it wasn't actually as bad as people say it was. Um there's a moment where Tony Stark talks about putting a suit of armor around the world. And I'm thinking that in this alternate timeline, he did it and he became corrupted and too powerful, became the infamous Iron Man and Doctor Doom at the same time somehow.
nice. Okay.
It's just it's Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom. I mean, that's one of their greatest villains. What are we doing here? Anyway, usually I'm of the mind to say, can we just wait and see? But wow, my expectations are rock bottom at this point.
No, I'm not excited about this at all.
They could have just done like if they really wanted to bring RDJ back, which I think like would be a welcome thing, but it could just be like smaller, you know, flashback or like a little cameo. Like that would have been fun. That would have been cute. That would have been way easier to keep secret.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know. I wonder if it's gonna be like just a one-time thing, but
I don't, and
If
that's
it's
the
a
other thing.
bait and switch,
If it's a one-time thing, then that ruins it altogether. Why even do it then? No, just don't do it. Just don't do it. There's no need for this. There's absolutely no need for this. People,
do you know how many
look,
actors there are on this planet? Too many to begin with.
there's a lot of great actors out there that you can have be Doc Doom. Now this isn't even gonna be Doc Doom in the Fantastic Four movie. This is gonna be in Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday, I think they're calling it. Come
What are we
on, nobody's
doing?
asking for this.
What's going on?
It's
The
stupid.
fans react. Yeah. All right. So at least Norm and I are on the same page. Bridget, where do you fall on this?
I was kind of excited.
You ruined my fun. Happy birthday. I hope Dubai
I
was
just
fun.
love him. I just love him, you
No,
know.
he's a great actor.
We're not.
But
We have no
let's-
problem with him.
Let's face it. If I was
know.
to say to anyone, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the MCU, we're giving in a fan request, it wouldn't be as Doc Doom. It would be as Iron Man. That's what people want, not Doc Doom.
I don't want him as
gonna be
Iron Man. He
weird.
died.
I'm
Bridget, right?
excited.
Kill him. Kill them all, Bridget. Isn't that your? Right, sorry, Emilia. You.
No, I
Oh.
just I don't know. It's just weird.
I'm with Bridget. I'm excited, but I'm also like it's very unnecessary, and I think that when we see him, it's gonna be not as fun as we thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be fun because I know I could think of several RDJ roles where he's played like a not great guy, and it's just like, is that really Robert Downey Jr.? And then you watch Iron Man, then you're like, oh my God, I love RDJ, and I'm just worried that like this one movie could like totally reverse every single feeling I have about him in the MCU.
The best thing I saw was Kurt Lazarus from Tropic Thunder playing.
I
Yes,
love
Iron Man
that
playing
movie.
Dr.
That
Black
movie
Panther.
is so good. That movie is so good.
Exactly.
It's
so
like
anyway,
it's
that's
like
the only
having
way
ice
they
cream
can
for
pull it off.
breakfast. It's like you think you want it, and then you feel not great afterwards.
And my tummy hurts. Yes.
Look,
Yeah.
my introduction to RDJ was Weird Science, where he was a complete douche rag. So
Yeah, we're old.
As
Yeah,
the majority
thanks.
of his roles before Iron Man.
Yeah,
True.
that's
pretty much.
All right. Well, so let's move along because we could spend a lot of time just griping, but maybe we'll talk about other things. We have a couple options here. I'm going to leave it open to the squad here to decide what we want to discuss next.
I think it's pretty obvious. The Rage Cage.
Okay. So I'm not a football guy. I'm not I don't know much about football. So I know John Madden's like an icon, but that's as much as I know. All I know is he doesn't really look like Nicolas Cage or act or speak like him. Not that Cage can't disappear into a role, but come on, he's always Nicolas Cage. That's why we love him. So him playing John Madden seems like very weird casting to me. But again, unlike the RDJ thing, I'm like, I don't know, that guy, I'll watch anything he's in. So
Nick Cage is, he's very choosy about his roles. He only chooses roles that he knows he can knock out of the park. So I think it's going to be great.
I have to imagine that he must have the accent down, like the voice. Because
what is the voice? Like he's from Chicago or something? No, that's the Bears from.
No, I just have to imagine that like he's got the. I mean.
Oh, from the games. I know his voice from the games.
Yes,
okay.
The games. So I have to imagine that he's got the voice down. I guess like now in 2024, like when it comes to looks, like makeup and prosthetics can literally do just about anything to make him look like John Madden. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna do it. Personally, I was like iffy about Nicolas Cage's acting until that movie with Pedro Pascal. I was not the biggest Nick Cage fan. Like
I'm still not a big Nick Cage fan.
What?
Yeah,
Emily, what are we gonna do?
I've said this multiple times on the podcast, and everyone always just glosses over it, which I find hilarious because you and Emilia are so big into the boat.
We're just pretending that we didn't hear that, so we don't have to eject you from the ship.
No,
I think Norm actually has those controls. But at this point, you should just eject us. Just blow me into space because.
Okay, so let me think. So like
Cage.
Nick Cage like did National Treasure, which was like great, but I feel like that didn't require heavy lifting acting wise. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it was just like whatever. And then I never saw Face Off, so I can't. I've only seen like
terrible movie.
I never saw the whole thing.
You're choosing some interesting ones. I'll say
and
that.
Then,
have you seen
Moonstruck,
Adaptation?
He was terrible in Moonstruck.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's an amazing movie, but he's such a weird character. He's such a weird character.
I'm trying to strangle you.
What about that Christmas movie he did?
What Christmas movie?
Oh yeah, I know that one.
The one where he's he goes into like
or something?
an alternate version of reality where he like isn't a family man. Oh, The Family Man.
Family Man.
I've never seen that.
If you've never seen Raising Arizona and you've never seen Adaptation, then you can't judge.
If you've never seen The Rock
or The Rock. Thank you.
Look, I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna put it out there.
Man.
When it comes to Nick Cage movies, there's only a few ones where I'm like, wow, he actually did a really good job in it. The Rock is one where it was just so stupid and over the top, but him and Sean Connery has this weird balance that works really well. And I'm like, wow, that's because like the two of them worked that out. And then the other one that I'm thinking that like he did really well with, but I think he wasn't really playing anybody, but he was just Nick Cage who got to geek out about cars, was Gone in 60 Seconds.
I love that movie.
I don't know why we're taking
Nick
this
Cage
abuse,
being
Emilia.
Nick Cage about cars. That's all that was. Like, I don't think he was playing anything. Oh, I forgot. 8mm. Great film. Probably his best.
We can keep going.
He's like not just an actor.
But
He's
after
like a
that,
performance artist.
But after that, like, I don't get people who go crazy for him, especially like people who like try and tell me that the Con Air, that was like one of the greatest films and they love it and they love him in it. I'm like, how do you love him in it? He's the worst part of Con Air. The worst part.
I haven't seen that.
With that ridiculous Southern accent, he's amazing. Come on.
Terrible.
That sounds great.
He's terrible.
You've never seen Con Air? Oh my God, Emilia. You're in for a
Southern
treat.
accent is more dubious than Andrew Garfield's in playing the Tennessee kid in Doctor Who. It's that bad.
Ooh.
I'm not arguing with you, but what a great movie. What a great
Terrible.
performance. You're going to love it, Emily.
John Malkovich is great.
They're all great. That's the stack.
Everybody but Cage.
Cage is amazing.
You know what? I'm done.
Don't listen to him.
Cage rage.
Anyway,
no,
I'm sick of taking this abuse. I feel like we should maybe move on to the movie.
Yeah, we probably should.
All right, I guess that was the verse news. Cage rage forever. But this is it's time for us to discuss what we came here to discuss, y'all, which is, of course, Deadpool and Wolverine. Hotly anticipated.
Go.
third movie in the Deadpool trilogy.
I did forget about a second Deadpool before this.
I straight up
Which
forgot
was
about that too.
fun.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
This
I've
whole
only seen it once.
trilogy,
Oh
by
my
the
God, I'm
way,
really- hang on.
we're just
Yeah, joke.
vomiting in the corner.
I'm just
That's
so
it.
choked up about this movie. I'm just really, can't wait to talk about it.
Well, why don't we fill the audience in on, brief overview of the plot? This is such a complex plot that a lot of ins and outs, so we should at least discuss it.
Lucas, how dare you? We have a particular film review structure here at the Verse. How dare you gloss over that?
What is the first one? Improv oh my God, you're so right. And I did my homework. Norm, you have my apologies. I just got really heated after that Nick Cage discussion. Left me firing all cylinders. Okay.
Look, here
Sorry,
at the Verse,
Captain,
we like to
proceed.
start off every film review with some like a mini poetry slam, I guess you want to say.
Inspired
Inspired.
We have
artistic
culture on this podcast, God damn it.
odes. Yes.
So we usually come up with a limerick and haiku about the film, how we feel about the film, or something related to said film. Before we do anything else, and we are sticking to that, Lucas.
I'm sorry, Captain, my captain. You're absolutely right.
All right, who wants to go first?
All right, who's Dead Poet Society-ing this one?
Dead
By the way, I did my
Poet
homework this week,
Society.
so I can go whenever because I actually did the assignment.
Oh,
Bridget,
Bridget,
go
have
for
you
it.
not seen Dead
Did
Poet
you?
Society?
Deadpool.
Yeah, but I have.
Dead
But what?
poets.
But what do you?
Sorry, I
What,
stole
like,
that from
did they
Bridget.
have like a special way of leading into the poems?
No, just Lucas
stood
said,
on their
"My
desk
captain,
or
my
something.
captain."
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. I missed
Captain,
that.
my
I didn't
captain,
hear that.
yeah,
I
okay.
didn't hear that. That's why.
She tunes me out most of the time. I get it.
Yeah, it's very
Okay.
true.
We're all just white noise to Bridget.
All right,
She's
so
still having a birthday hangover. Okay.
I
will
only
go
have one
first.
poem, so yeah, someone else
Oh,
should
which
go.
one do you have though? Because I can alternate it.
I've got
Do you have a
limerick.
haiku? Limerick, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with a haiku then. And trust me, this I did not put a lot of work into it, but I did put my heart into it. Traditional Lucas poem. Okay. Remember, haiku 575. The Merc with a mouth and his BFF Logan kill their way back home.
Yeah, nice. That sums it up.
Pretty much. All right. Norm, do you have a haiku?
Oh, I do. Cameos galore. The big bad guy was a snore. But give me some more.
That
Nice.
pretty much sums it up too. Bridget, do you have any poetry you want to add?
I have one, but I don't think it's not a haiku.
Is it a limerick?
What is the difference between a haiku and a limerick? I should have
Haiku
Googled
has to
this.
have 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables.
Oh, it's
What did
definitely
they
not
teach you
that.
in college, Bridget?
And the limerick
Not-
follows just
Rhyme.
a specific rhyme scheme. A B B A
AABBA.
A. Yeah. Wait.
Unless you
yeah.
want
Yes. A. Thank you. I wrote one and I forgot.
AABBA. Anyway,
wait.
you just
Just
Let me
go
go
ahead.
last. Let me go last. No, no, no. Let me go last.
All right. All right. We'll save the best for last. So
Yes, that's what she meant.
I've got a limerick. Let's see. I did leave it lying around, so I hope nobody's tampered with it. Let's see. It's another Marvel flick, another timeline gimmick. Our heroes both can't die. The film's actually pretty fly. I guess Fox can go suck. Wait a minute. Okay,
Ooh.
okay. I think Deadpool might have gotten a hold of this draft.
All right. Well played.
Okay, so that's
Wow,
can
that
say
was
it,
that was a
we're
long
bleeping.
pause there. Well done.
We're not. And Jane. Anyway. All right, so Norm, you have a limerick?
I have a limerick.
I have a limerick, and then BB, you want to go last? Okay.
Yeah.
So Norm, why don't you go with your limerick, then I'll go, then BB goes.
Sure. And by the way, BB, this is another way of doing a limerick. It's the Mark Twain
Okay.
version. I
Mark
prefer
Twain
doing
version.
this
I'm
one.
just changing my last line.
It's still AABB and then something else, but doesn't have to be A. Let's call it C. Yeah, we'll call it C. Ode to the car salesman named Wade, who was better at a different trade. His universe was dying. Jackman's abs were not lying. Where the was Cable?
You could have added a few other characters in there as well to be
Yeah, but
confused about, but I like it. That was strong.
It's good, yeah.
Okay, that beats mine, but I'll just go.
Just like Hugh Jackman's abs.
Dude, for one scene, we'll get into it. Once there was a merc named Wade. The Avengers told him he didn't make the grade. So he scoured the multiverse with a quip, some cameos, and many a curse, and his peanut, the Wolverine, gave him aid.
I like that.
Nice. Well done.
All right, Bridget, bring us on home.
All right. Sight unseen, Deadpool and Wolverine looked like fun, but could claws and time flaws still drop jaws?
Ooh, that was way more freestyle, and I like it. Like
Yeah.
beat poetry.
Yeah. It was
But
nice.
I just like
did you
rhyming.
answer the question? I like that you just kept it as an open question.
I think we're gonna
Question.
answer that. I think that's what she's trying to say here. She's setting it up.
Okay.
Lucas.
So that was a
Yeah,
perfect
geez.
segue into our next part. So in our highly structured professional review,
Now we give a spoiler-free version, which again, I still don't understand why we do, but here we are.
sure.
We give our spoiler-free takes to try and make sure that nobody knows anything before not
We
seeing
then
this
spoil
film
everything.
and spoil
Alright.
everything.
I'm fine with that.
So, yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I was highly entertained.
Yes.
It was a good way to spend an evening. It had a lot of it was like super, super fun. And there were definitely like the plot didn't totally make sense. The time variance stuff was definitely a little like, huh? A little shoehorned, but I didn't really care that much.
Yeah, I went into a stone cold sober into a theater that only had like 7 people in it on like a late afternoon. So my expectations were not very high. I was like, I got to get this over with to go. We'll talk about it. And I was laughing out loud so loudly in like this empty theater that I think it was like annoying the other people because it got me. I was having
you were
such a
doing it
good
right.
time.
It was good.
Yeah. I
was a
thought
lot of great
because it was so
comedy.
outrageous. They really pushed the envelope way further than I ever thought they would do.
Yeah.
And I'd seen the other two, so I kind of knew the attitude and everything. So yeah, it hit me by surprise, and I really enjoyed the entire thing. And yeah, and I'll say Hugh Jackman is the man. He's still the jacked man.
Jack. Jacked.
Yeah.
Can
Bridget.
look at those abs.
Look, Emily, you brought up that the plot really doesn't make sense. If you ever read a Deadpool comic book in your life, you would know Deadpool comic books are all about the side quests. It's not the main quest at all. It's about whatever tangents he's going to go off on. You're going to laugh a lot. You're going to go, I can't believe they put that down in paper or drew that. Or were allowed to do half of this. And then at the end, they kind of loosely tie up, and I do mean very loosely tie up the plot. And then you go, all right, there's holes like Swiss cheese, but I enjoyed every second of it. And they did that here, so I didn't care.
It's comic accurate, apparently.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Nice, nice.
I will say, even though it wasn't the entire movie, I was glad that I have seen like the X-Men movies prior to this, just to have like
Oh yeah.
like a little bit of knowledge. Like I couldn't tell you like right off the bat who was who or like everything that happened, but it's like it jogged memories of like seeing the movie, so you kind of like understood the references. And I'm so glad I saw Logan, dear sweet Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that could be a
Central
good
plot.
criticism of this movie. That if like you hadn't seen all the material previously, you're gonna miss a lot of jokes and a lot of gags.
I think you missed some of the. I don't think you appreciate them on a
plot.
deeper level, but you don't miss the
but
plot.
it's so ridiculous that's like, fine, you missed that one joke. So one of my friends, Nick, who you remember, Bridget, from Film Dorks, he was like, hey, have you seen Deadpool and Wolverine? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go tomorrow. I wasn't really excited. He's like, I can't believe they gave that man so much money to make a spoof movie of superheroes. And I was like, oh, I hadn't thought of it that way. So watching it, I was like, he's so right. Like those are like the old Airplane and Hot Shots. Like I love spoof movies. I miss spoof movies, like Scary Movie, And it did feel like that. It had that same energy, like 1,000 gags a minute. Some of them land, some of them don't. It doesn't matter. It's just the tone is so there, and you're just in the mood to laugh. And it's so absurd, right? There's just weird things that are going to happen you're not expecting, breaking the fourth wall all the time. So like, yeah, I have to say it made me really happy that somebody gave him a huge pile of money finally to make what is seriously just a spoof of superhero movies, and even better, spoofing this absurd multiverse. Like this was probably the best rendition of a multiverse. Like the reason to do it was this movie because none of the other ones landed emotionally for me, but this worked.
Wait, I do have to, you said, because you said spoof movie. My sister has not seen all the X-Men movies prior to this. And she said the only knowledge of the X-Men that she had was from the Epic movie, which was a spoof movie from the 2000s
That's the
on
reason why.
superheroes.
That's the reason why
Wow.
spoof movies have like disappeared for a little bit because they overdid it in the 2010s.
Yeah, oversaturated, and they made terrible ones. They made them so badly that they destroyed them for like a
I'm
decade.
sorry, but like to this day, the Scary Movie franchise are still some
so
of my
funny.
favorite
Oh
films
no,
ever
it's,
made.
the first two scary movies.
The first three even.
The third
are
one
good.
was fine. Look,
Yeah.
and a shout out to Chris Evans because Chris Evans was in Not Another Teen Movie, which was
which is great.
Yeah.
That holds up. Anyway. Okay.
So yeah, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, can't mention many other people without spoiling stuff because that's the way
Well,
it
let's spoil.
goes.
Spoil
But so yeah, let's start, moving into the spoiler zone here and let's dive in deep and really
Let's
nail
light it on fire.
Let's peg this movie.
Ooh, yeah. I was gonna say, is our safe word pegging from earlier? So Norm, give us a proper spoiler warning for this one because we haven't done it in a while.
All right. That sound that you hear, that's not a test. That is your spoiler alert sound. Everything here on out is going to have tons of spoilers. So if you haven't seen this film, what are you waiting for? Go see it. You definitely should.
You should. Okay. So, spoiler-filled takes. Come on, what is our favorite moments from this movie? There was a lot to choose from.
I'm just going to say anytime Channing Tatum was on screen as Gambit, oh my God. If you would have told me before I saw this movie that Channing Tatum as Gambit was going to be in this, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm not going to care. Ended up being my favorite part of the entire film. Any scene with him in it. Mwah, chef's
But also
kiss.
Deadpool's reaction to him where he just couldn't understand a word coming out of his mouth.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. Who's your dialect coach? And I'm like, oh, I love this. I am loving this.
Nobody understood him. And I I genuinely really want to believe that they just like that it was truly like Channing Tatum was gonna do the Gambit accent, and then they were like on set and they were like, bro, Channing Tatum cannot do this accent, and then they were like, we'll make that the joke. That's my headcanon. It's probably what the marketing people like want me to believe anyway.
I believe it.
But I'm gonna hold that as my headcanon.
Look, the only thing I knew, the only thing I said when they announced Channing Tatum as Gambit, I was like, we'll see. But like the only thing I'm not going to believe is he's too short and buff to be Gambit.
He's like stacked. It's weird.
And they proved me right in this, but at the same time, I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I am 100% in love with this. And the rumor that he might now get the movie,
his own movie, yes,
is like gold to me. And I'm really hoping
how
that
do I
they
feel
do it.
about it? Because I just want to laugh at him now.
Is he going to be okay? Can we be able to understand him?
Subtitles. Subtitle him the entire time. Do like Arnold in the Hercules movie. Just subtitle him.
Okay. That's a good one. Yeah.
What is everybody else's?
Go ahead, Bridget.
Johnny Blaze.
Yes. Flame on.
I knew it was coming. I have
to admit, I was not expecting it.
I somehow didn't see it coming until it happened.
Yeah.
I don't know
why.
Felt
like an idiot afterwards.
It's misdirect.
Wait, because what was it? I did not think we would get it at all, only because we had like John Krasinski had that other appearance in Doctor Strange. So I was like, there's no way. I would
know,
never have thought of
100%.
it. If there was going to be a movie they were going to do it, it would have been that one. But for some reason, I'm so glad they saved it until Ryan Reynolds was here because I feel like it just made it. I don't know. I feel like every heartthrob in Hollywood had an appearance in this movie. Like there was like, come on, like you had Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, Channing Tatum, Chris Evans. Like, what are we talking about?
You had Chris Hemsworth for a split second.
Oh, Chris Hemsworth. Like
Emily's
I
look.
think
Emily
they
looks confused.
I just think they went through the sexiest man alive People's Magazine list, and they were like, "Let's see who's available to get
So,
in
Norm, were
this
you just not
movie."
available? Is that what happened?
I apparently was not. Well, I wasn't named yet.
Scheduling.
Oh,
That was
that's
more
right. Okay.
recent.
Oh, okay,
You know.
gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
Just wasn't my it wasn't my set of Hollywood heartthrobs, but I did appreciate the cameos regardless.
Well, that was
Jennifer
a good
Garner?
one.
You mean Cab?
Was that one of your
Eos?
favorite, or
That
are
was
you saying
terrible
it was
joke.
one of your
Oh,
heartthrobs?
one of my Hollywood heartthrobs, of course.
Okay, good. But
Oh,
that
well,
scene
I
was
will.
cool. I have to admit.
I will say
Was
I
it-
was a little upset. Jennifer Gardner got spoiled for me on social media.
They all got spoiled for me.
No,
Like,
see,
every
Jennifer
single
Gardner
freaking
was the only
one.
one that got spoiled for me on
Oh,
social
all of
media.
them. I knew Channing
Well-
Tatum. I knew Blade. I knew Wesley Snipes was
Well,
coming back.
that was-
The reason I saw the movies because I was like, all right, too bad. It all got spoiled. I might as well go see it.
Well, that was because the set when they were doing that desert scene, that was actually out on the desert, and they couldn't get the paparazzi to not be able to use telephoto lenses and stuff. So everyone saw that particular cast, but they didn't see Chris Evans because that was done right before the pandemic.
Yep, that spoiled me. I didn't. I mean, it
That
didn't
long
spoil me. That was
ago?
the one that was shocking. Yeah.
Wait,
And when they did all the
what?
reshoots, his stuff was already done, so he didn't have to come back.
Wait, you're
Nice.
telling me this movie was like started being made 4 years ago?
People
This
don't realize
movie
how
go
the
look-
pandemic has pushed so like Marvel. People are like,
This-
was Shang-Chi not out yet? I'm like, listen, I want it out.
Yeah.
But there's a reason for it. It was the pandemic pushed everything back like
Thi-
5 years.
This movie had to combat a buyout, a Disney buyout, a rights issue after the buyout, a pandemic, a writer strike, and an actor strike.
Yeah.
Only a couple
It's a-
things.
It's a
Yeah,
goddamn
only a
miracle it got
handful.
made. So yeah, I'm
Oh,
happy
and the
it did
Jonathan
get made.
Majors incident, which is a big
Oh,
part
my
of this,
God.
because one of the reasons why the movie didn't make as much sense was because Kang was supposed to be a big part of this movie.
Again,
of this
why
movie?
did we not just
Yep.
Oh my
recast?
God.
Why did we not just also wait, going back to the conversation from earlier, because I also had this thought. I'm telling you, if the Kang stuff did not happen with Jonathan Majors, I feel like the RDJ thing wouldn't have happened. I
No,
think
100%
I
wouldn't
don't
have
think
happened.
that wouldn't have happened. Anyways,
Mhm.
why can't we just recast? I don't know.
Who
Marvel
knows?
could do the most
don't know.
hilarious thing and recast Jonathan Majors and bring in Terrence Howard.
Yeah, that would be inspired casting.
That'd be hilarious.
Change one lunatic for another. No, they're never gonna do it.
That would be
All right,
fun.
so moving on to other
Yeah,
scenes.
Favorite
So one of
moments
my
here.
favorite scenes in the entire thing was when he had to go like the montage, which we all love a good montage, but when he's going from book cover to book cover, right?
Oh yeah.
Finding all the different Wolverine variants was like, to me, I was like, this is the multiverse. Like, this is what I want to see. And it was like, I was blown away. I'm like, why is it this stupid spoof movie that is doing the best adaptation of actual comic book accurate panels and covers? And even the fight scenes, I'm going to jump around a little bit, but like,
Yeah.
so those scenes when they were jumping, we got Cavill, we got
Oh,
like, all these awesome
Cavalrine was
cameos.
hilarious.
Cavalrine, you got the little
Cavalrine.
short height
Oh,
accurate
we're gonna
Wolverine
treat you so much better than the sticks down the street.
down the street.
I love it.
Dude, but part of me was also like angry because I'm like, why did it take this movie to get us like these insanely awesome panels that are like from the comic books? I'm like, anyway, so
you know,
but
it's funny that you say
Yeah.
that because that was also almost like reminded me a little more of why I liked Into the Spider-Verse because
Oh,
of how
hell
cool
yeah.
like all the graphics and stuff were. Like, yeah, it was kind of like they kind of almost were inspired by that to like put that in this film.
and it works. Like it actually works if you do it right. You just gotta
Comic
have the right
accurate
setting.
height Wolverine. Oh,
It's
beautiful.
Great.
What is he like 5'5"?
He's
Four
actually
K.
only 4'11".
Oh yeah,
The
like
actor's
4'11", 5 foot.
So they kind of
max.
cheated, but it's funny. It made it funnier.
And then there was classic John Byrne. Wait, didn't you fight the Hulk in this? And then and you see the Hulk's reflection. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this is beautiful. This is
Yeah.
poetry. in the
I
weirdest
think-
way.
Yeah.
One of the better moments was when he did Nice Pool and they
my
like did a
God,
reference
Nice
to, like the
Pool.
proposal. That's what, yeah, because that's like also
I-
one of my all-time favorite
I
movies.
love that version of Ryan Reynolds.
You mean Gordon Reynolds?
Yeah. I was
It's
like,
billed
I'd
as
totally hang
Gordon
out with that guy.
Reynolds. If anybody
He's invited
remembers
to all
that
my parties, I'm
one
just telling you.
random interview he had with him,
Wait, it was
twin-
named? That's why they're calling him Gordon.
he has a twin brother, according to an interview he did like years ago, where Gordon is very upset because Ryan's very popular. So Gordon's actually,
Wow,
which is funny
that's
why he's Nice Pool.
that's a real niche reference.
That's a deep
that
cut.
I'm
Yeah.
sure several people, dozens of people got that and
There's dozens
appreciated
of
it.
All right,
And
so
this
those are-
one
that
was one.
Also, the
Well, so-
other thing, again, because we talked about this in The Boys, and like again going into it knowing it's rated R, I just forget how like gory the Deadpool movies were. Like the violence, like right off the bat, him like slaughtering half the TVA, like
Yeah, in the grossest way possible. Well, that
Yeah.
also is going to be one of my mentions, but Emilia hasn't gone yet, so I'd love
oh,
to know
sorry,
one of
Emilia.
yours.
Oh, I gotta cite some of my favorite moments. And again, cheating a little bit because it's like a collection of Paradox. So I love Matthew McFadden. He's one of like my favorite actors, and I really have only seen him in Succession and like a handful
Yeah.
of other things. But just like ever since then, whenever I see him, I'm just like, this I'm like, this guy needs to be in everything. I don't know. I mean, he shouldn't actually because it'll ruin it. But like when I saw him turn up, I did not know he was in this movie.
Me neither.
I was thrilled to see him, and he got to be like a ridiculous corporate suit, and he played perfectly. Of course he did. Of course
You
he
know what was
did.
one of his finest moments in that entire movie was when he's like brings the sandwich over and he just starts eating the sandwich in the middle of the. I was like, yo, I would totally do that. That's so rude.
So hateable, but so like, just
But,
love it.
By the
like-
way, I've heard that actor on Succession was like the coolest dude. He was like
He's
one
so
of the only
nice.
guys that didn't. He was not insufferable. He didn't think his acting was so the bee's knees.
They
He
called
was
him the
just-
chameleon because he
Yes.
can disappear into roles like that.
I love that guy.
He did fine in this, although I will say like the villain was so paper thin, but it didn't matter because of everything else
Doesn't
going on
really matter.
around. Because Cassandra Nova was a much better villain, and they should have stuck with her longer, I guess.
I was fine with it, but you're right. It's not like it really mattered at the end of the
No,
day.
his at the end of the day, honestly, it could have been anyone playing that TVA agent as long as they had a
Yeah, so
really
he brought a
snooty
lot to
accent.
a-
It would have been fine.
Very thin role. He
Mhm.
brought a lot to it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him in more. This does feel like a one-time villain, but I'm glad that like even if this is where it ends, I'm glad that this actor made it into the Marvel universe, like in some shape or form, and maybe there will be more, but it's okay.
And,
if
and
not.
actually, I take it back. This sandwich thing was funny, but when he's trying to talk his way out of like
At the
and
very
these
end.
brave men, I
Yeah.
was like, I'm here for it, bro. Sell it,
Mhm.
sell it.
This
was
is
actually
completely
kinda
my
rooting for him
fault,
at
but
that
I
point.
got to make like I'm the hero here, and
He's
no,
got to
no,
sell it to the board, you know.
Yeah, I was like, sell it, bro. I'm there for it. I was on his team at that point. I was like, I kind of hope he makes it out. Anyway, all right, who next? Supposed
Bridget,
to
did
do
you have
3
another one?
favorites.
It seemed like you were.
No, I feel like Nice Pool, the utter violence.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in then, and you're gonna probably say yes, that scene. When
Okay.
they have the slaughtering all the Deadpools, where it's just one long tracking shot, and it's just gore and violence and just mayhem. I was like so into, and then it ends with them jumping out of the bus and Deadpool face plants.
He faceplant
And he's
doesn't
like,
stick the
"Oh
landing."
man, that's all they're gonna remember is the dismount."
Look,
That got me, man. I was cracking up so hard because it was so dramatic and violent, and then just so goofy. And I was like, "That's what I like about this
Well,
movie."
I feel like when I like the third best moment is like there's nothing like the Deadpool comedy. There's like nothing like Ryan Reynolds, and I just think that like we said it off the top, but like how fun it was. Like I think that's what makes this movie like how like so good because it was just like so fun. And it's like I probably because I just saw a really sad movie in theaters, so then this was like really entertaining. but it was
Palate
like,
cleanser, yeah.
yeah, definitely a palate cleanser. And then I also was sitting, what was the last Marvel movie?
What do
Um,
I feel like we just watched one.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
And
oh
I,
crap,
for the
yeah.
life of me,
We watched the
can't.
Marvels, but that was on Disney Plus.
That poor
Was-
Marvel movie.
What was the one in the theater? Honestly, that might be the one.
No, but I saw it
Oh,
in the
Guardians of the
theater.
Galaxy 3 was out.
Gar-
but when
that
was
too.
that?
Before that was Love and Thunder.
Man.
I think that's it.
No, that was before. Yeah.
But
I just couldn't remember. I honestly
Well,
God
yeah.
couldn't remember.
But
But it was
Lucas,
fun.
you said you liked that fight scene with all the Deadpools, but that wasn't the best fight scene. The best fight scene was in the minivan with
Oh, yeah.
Wolverine and Deadpool. I laughed the entire time, especially at the end where Wolverine's
hugging-
kind of wrapped up in the seatbelt, and then Deadpool's just completely mummified
Like
in the
mummified.
seatbelt somehow.
Yeah. No, and then it was product placement with the minivan, whatever, but it worked because it was
Yeah.
funny. He's like, this van.
So
Or
that was
the product
funny.
placement, the 20 I was gonna say 20th Century Fox
mhm.
logo.
Oh,
when they're
yeah.
like fighting in front of that.
The destroyed logo of it, yeah.
Also, the
Yeah.
van was that in the Odyssey?
Yeah.
The Odyssey,
First
yeah.
of all,
Product placement.
my one of my best friends growing up's mom had a Honda Odyssey, and like that van got us places, so respect. But
Yeah.
so I loved it. I also was a big fan of that fight scene because it was like it was so funny and so clearly it was like they were it was very erotic.
Oh, yeah.
So
A little bit of
it
foreplay
was.
there.
There's a lot
for
of
sure.
stabbing.
I only have one question at the end of this. Of the heroes, who do you think drove that minivan back to the hero's lair? Because it wasn't
That was
Blade.
X-23.
At no point do they say who it was. We have to guess.
I thought it was
It was. You think it was
X-23.
Laura?
Yeah, I think Laura drove it. Didn't you see her boot come down?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
And
I see
that
things
doesn't narrow it down because all those characters wear boots. It
I
definitely
also see
wasn't
things that
Blade. We
don't
know it
happen at
wasn't
times.
Blade. Blade would
Okay.
Blade would be like, I'm not driving a minivan.
Actually, it would make so much sense that it would just be Elektra because she's
Yeah,
the one
Jennifer
who kind of-
Garner, soccer mom.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Oh, soccer mom. Oh, is that the point you're making?
That's
Soccer mom driving
I
the
was,
minivan.
I was
to-
eventually getting to the joke of a soccer mom in a minivan. So
I like it.
I wish
That's
Electra
canon
was
now
my
in my
soccer
eyes.
mom. Jeez.
hell yeah. Sorry.
And I'd say, okay, the final, if we want to do final moments that we liked, the ending where Deadpool has to sacrifice himself and he does like walking down the stairs and then goes and he's like, I don't know, I guess I'm just like nervous to sacrifice. Like, it was so adorable, but also a little bit heartfelt. And then I knew it was gonna happen. I'm like, Wolverine and him are, and then they do that hand grasp ab blast thing. Like, no joke, everyone in the theater was just like, ooh. And then they
Look, I stared.
replicated. Yes.
Those were CGI abs.
No, they're
They're-
real, but
They're saying
but he did
100%
that
real.
his entire work. He had the suit on the whole time, so it was all for one shot.
I'm sure they were
That's
real, but I
crazy.
feel like they had to have been, and they were enhanced.
Well, good lighting, you oil them up, like
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
course. And
it
he
makes a
probably
big
didn't drink
difference.
water for
You
like
put
a
a little
week before
makeup
that.
on
Not
it. Yeah.
again, Hugh
Yeah.
Jackman.
No,
Didn't you
it's
learn
just-
your lesson from Les Mis?
He's what, 50?
56 or something.
You shouldn't have abs like that. I'm sorry, man.
No.
He's got to stop dehydrating himself for this, because didn't you learn your lesson from Les Mis? It's not good for your voice, and that whole movie was sung through it. I have a huge rant behind this. I'm not going to get into it, but
Well, what I will
That's
say
funny.
is that he needs after this movie, he's got to do a Russell Crowe and just like drink some beers, put on some weight, just relax, man. I want to see him get real comfortable in the next movie.
I did enjoy another stupid moment where Blind Al and Wade were going through the list of names for cocaine.
Yeah.
Just
And
one
you
of
know
those
why,
stupid
right? You
things
heard
where-
the story behind that, right?
Yeah.
How Feige was like, all the violence, sure, whatever, cursing, but you just can't have it. Can we not have as many of the drug references? I don't want them doing cocaine. They're like, oh, you don't, do you? And that was the first joke scene they
That
wrote
is
when
so
they got back.
funny.
They're like, oh, if we can't do it, we're gonna talk about it. And they wrote that whole joke sequence about it, which
That's
is
really
freaking
funny.
hilarious.
I didn't know that.
get it all out of the way.
I
Yeah.
am shocked by the way that this whole entire plot was just one giant stab at the movie distributors and whatnot, destroying universes and lives
Yeah.
and, support lives, you know, which was the main plot of the story. The reason why these places are getting pruned is because the studios couldn't make enough money off them because they didn't market them right or whatever. And I was like, I can't believe they got away with this.
Yeah, but the
But
thing is, this
honestly,
is what I mean.
but
It's
they
a,
weren't
yeah.
being conservative. Like finally, like they
Yeah.
were not being conservative, and I feel like that was like
But the thing is, the studios
they
are like,
weren't
if
afraid
you
to
make
do
us
it.
money,
We
fine,
don't
say whatever
care.
you want.
Yeah, I guess.
Like,
Yeah.
keep that cash machine rolling. Okay, fine, make fun of us. Ha ha ha. Cash those checks.
Jokes on you.
Yep,
Um,
exactly.
so obviously we just went through all our favorite moments, but
Mhm.
do we have our favorite stars?
Oh,
Oh,
I thought we were gonna go with
the
our
least
least
favorite.
favorite moments. Yeah.
Oh, I skipped over that by accident. Ignore me.
Maybe because you just had no least favorite moments. That's okay.
Be like, Bridget, don't mess with the structure. Then over this.
Yeah,
Not
Norm.
mess with the structure. We have a strict structure we gotta stick to.
Get
Come
a
on.
schedule.
He chewed my ass out. Why do you get a pass?
Oh my god, that's funny.
All right, so least favorite. Does anybody have least favorites?
I
have
mean,
to
it's
think
not a
about that.
moment, it's just an overall thing. I am a big fan of fourth wall breaking. I mentioned it in She-Hulk. I've obviously talked about it about Deadpool a bunch of times. Love fourth wall breaking. I did not like the ratio of fourth wall breaking of Ryan Reynolds' life.
Mhm.
There was way too much fourth wall breaks about Ryan Reynolds, and I'm like, okay, come on, we don't need another one.
Yeah,
So my
so
wife
I'm
was asking me
yeah.
about this, about Dead. She has zero interest in seeing this, but I was like, yeah, with Ryan Reynolds, and I could just hear her just like, groan, like, oh, that guy. And I'm like, yeah, because he's more like the sponsor for cricket than like an actor at this point. And Deadpool is the thing I can really handle him in, and I'll tell
Mhm.
you, I don't know if I can really take him seriously in anything else. And a testament to how great Deadpool is in that character, he embodies it. But there's a point now where he seems like such a joke to me and just like a businessman that also has a franchise that like it would take a lot for me to ever see him as anything but kind of a goofy joke guy.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna jump on this too because I agree. Like yeah, the general critique is basically like I do feel like some of the fourth wall breaks, even some of the jokes just like went on a little too long. That is separate, but then also like the amount of Ryan Reynolds in it for him, even for him being the star, I was like, it's a little much. It's a little bit too much Ryan Reynolds for me. And I am not interested in his personal life, not interested in his marriage with Blake Lively, which is also currently in other news that is not related to cinematic universes, but like I don't care about his businesses and stuff. And then I also don't actually think he's that good looking. But again, separate critique. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
luckily
sorry,
in this
Vivi.
movie, no, in this
And
movie you don't, you know,
and
you just
then
see hamburger face. So I
right.
think
Well,
it is in his
you
favor.
saw Gordon Reynolds on screen as nice
Oh, I
Tool.
guess you're
Don't you
right.
give me that.
And I'm
I
sure
just tune it out.
he's like a fine comedian and actor and stuff, but I do kind of feel like he's taken the bit a little too far, like even in real life.
I love
Yeah,
him. I mean,
I can see
I
that.
won't lie. I love him, but I just thought like I'm like, wow, there's too many jokes about Ryan Reynolds' life
Mm.
in this movie, and it's taking me a little bit out of it. But then something else happens, like I'm back in.
I
Yeah,
thought he
that's what I
was
mean. A
really
thousand
cool.
jokes a second
Yeah.
helps.
For a long time, and then I'm like a little worried that like with his fame and riches that I'm like I don't like I don't want him to feel to get to get a bit of a big head or anything. It's
Oh,
probably
that
too
ship
late.
has sailed. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's anyway. So yes, I think those are all valid criticisms, and I could have some more, I suppose. But the thing that this movie sails on is its tone, the jokes. So like, I'm very forgiving of it. I will watch this
Mhm.
over and over again.
Yeah.
So we do have to do favorite stars, as
I
BB
said it
pointed
off the
out.
bat. Channing Tatum, throwing him up there as number one. I loved every single scene with him.
Whoa.
It was
I
great.
would
Not
I
saying
won't put him as number one, but I will put
I'm putting
him
him as
in
number.
the top three.
I will put him as some of the funniest parts of the movie. I mean, listen, come on, we got to put Hugh Jackman steals the show as always, right? Like he's the
Yeah.
grounding
Would
source
you
of
rank?
like this movie
you
would not
rank
work without
Hugh
him.
Jackman over Ryan Reynolds?
Fuck. Oh, sorry. Yes. Of course.
Yes.
Like Ryan Reynolds to me is like if he makes the list, number 3.
You don't.
I love
You
him.
wouldn't
I
put
think he's
Ryan
so
Reynolds in the
enjoyable.
top 3?
No, I'd put him 3 if he makes the list.
Okay.
My list would have Matthew McFadden on it, but
I would actually maybe he's 2 then, and McFadden's 3 only because he doesn't have as much. To
I'm
do.
laughing because before we started doing this, I'm like, we're gonna all agree very
Ah,
quickly.
we never agree. We rarely agree. Well, what
Look.
What was your list?
Go ahead,
Well,
Bridget.
Hugh Jackman. I would put Ryan Reynolds as number 2.
Sure,
I would
fine, he can
have
be
to.
2.
I would
Yeah,
have
He
to.
can be 2.
there.
Look,
And then number
Channing
3,
Tatum.
I feel like I have to put Chris Evans.
I knew you were gonna. You're like he's just so dreamy.
He
Channing
did a good
Tatum,
job.
Emma Corrin, and then Hugh
Oh, I
Jackman.
do like Emma Corrin.
So
yeah.
Emma, I would like Emma in there too.
She's a great
But she-
actress.
She did fantastic as Cassandra Nova in this. I thought she, like, if it wasn't for her, the villainy side of it would have been terrible.
I liked
there
her
was no
weird
villains.
powers too. Like they got really like gross.
Yeah, she had to put her fingers in their head. Oh,
in
come
their
on, that was
faces and
that was
eyeballs and stuff.
that was great.
Yeah. I think Emma Corrin might go by they them pronouns.
Oh, do they? I'm sorry.
I think so. At,
We
at least
suck at
according to
that.
Wikipedia.
Full
so-
disclosure.
I would put Emma up there in the top 3, and then definitely Hugh Jackman, and then my list certainly has Matthew McFadden. It's tempting to put Leslie Uggams in there, but it feels like it's such a small role that I won't press it. But
So
for all the
we have to
cocaine
agree, or we
references,
can't move on.
We are more divided on this one than
Than
apparently Bridget thought it we were going to be.
I don't know. In my head, I was like, totally, we're gonna go. I
Look,
don't
we
know
all
why.
have
You
Hugh
thought we
Jackman in
pick
there,
Chris
right?
Evans?
I'm willing to put Jackman actually as number 1 because those abs did not,
But let's
that
be real, the whole
weren't
story,
lying.
if it wasn't for the
amount of
drama
work.
of his character, like if he didn't bring it, there would be no story. It would just be
he did a
jokes.
great job being very
100%.
sad. Yeah, I love that.
Hugh
Yeah.
Jackman is like the heart, 100%.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I love
look, I'll
Wolverine.
give him number 1. I have no problems with that.
Okay.
He's
Okay,
on
I'll
our
settle
list.
if
I
we all
understand
agree
it.
on number 1. I can agree if I'll settle if we
Okay,
all
good.
agree on number 1.
Maybe that's all we need today. It's been a rough one.
It's been a rough one. Oh man. So
Okay.
so rating, this is a new okay, we're breaking the structure on this. Okay.
No, first.
No, it's
first
how
we're-
many
First, we're going
F-bombs
on
out of- what?
our grade score, and then we're gonna
Oh,
give.
you're right.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Not
So
totally off.
A for all time, B for better than most, C for could have done better, D don't expect to like this, and F for F this movie.
I'm gonna go with solid A.
I think an A minus. Me.
A
yeah.
minus sounds more.
I'm with
Appropriate.
Lucas and Emily on this
Wow.
one. I think it's an A minus. I think they did a real good job of rewriting the whole John Majors stuff, and it plays well to if you've read the comic books, it definitely leans into that really well. But outside of that, as an actual movie, it's a pretty bad movie.
But
just
one
really
that I will
entertaining.
gladly.
Rewatchable.
But it's one I will put it.
Rewatchable.
Yes,
Very
and I'll put it on
rewatchable.
all
I'm
the time.
Again, I'm just saying, like, if you just look at it as from the structure
why the
of
minus.
just being a film, it's a terrible film. But man, do I love it!
It's
It's
the
it's
minus,
counterbalanced.
It's
Yeah.
it really is.
But listen, Bridget. If you give it an A, I'm not gonna argue. I'm like it. If you got an A experience, that's awesome because it is enjoyable.
True. It was.
Yeah. But we all net out to an A minus here at the Verse.
So we're right and you're wrong.
Yep,
So-
pretty much.
That's
Yep.
not how averages work, Lucas.
But of
Alright.
course, that's not the only thing this is the only scale that we use to rate movies. Ways that where you were going to go into, Bridget?
Yeah, a completely arbitrary.
I was gonna say something a little more vulgar, but going
Good.
into the F-bomb rating, but
We're in Disney
I'll-
now. We can curse, mother.
I'm a princess. So how many F-bombs out of 116? I gotta think about the math on this one.
Why is it 116?
Is that's how many
That's how many
F-bombs they had
F-bombs
in the
were in
movie.
this film.
Oh wow. okay.
116?
They had a
Yep.
lot of to give.
So many.
And they
According to the
gave every
internet.
single one.
Yes.
Wow. I'm gonna go with 106 F-bombs out of 116.
Okay.
Nice. I think
I'll say
100.
Yeah, I will
for
say
me.
100 sounds right.
101 because the price is right. I will outbid you by 1.
I don't think that's how this works, Lucas.
Take
That's
it
not
over,
how
Bob
any of this
Barker.
works.
Okay, so
And the
Oh, yeah.
actual retail price?
Retail is.
hang on.
So I win. So technically,
you actually
I
doing
win
the
for
math
doing
on
Price
this
is Right
one?
rules.
Yeah.
No. No.
It's wait, that doesn't seem right. Hang
It's like
on.
104?
101.75.
Doesn't seem right, but whatever.
100 plus 100 plus 101 plus 106
Divided by 4.
Wow.
divided by 4. Yep, 101 and 3/4 of.
Well, good thing I didn't major in math in college.
Your time is now up. You have 1 minute to remove the keystone or your timeline will be destroyed.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold your horses there, Time Nazi. We don't even know what you're referring to, do we, Norm?
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this. Sorry, crew. One of us does not belong in this universe.
Wait, are you saying that you're gonna kill one of us?
I mean, is it really killing if you shouldn't have been born in the first place?
Yes, definitely yes.
Hey, Cronsworth, can you bring me my plasma pistol? Thanks.
Why, yes, Captain Falcon. It would be an absolute pleasure to witness you blast one of the crew in the face with your plasma pistol. Be right back.
Okay, whoa. We can talk about this, right? Like, is there like a little wiggle room for negotiation?
Screw negotiation. I say we mutiny.
Okay. If you are going to kill one of us, then you have to kill all of us. Am I right? Who's with me?
Yeah.
Well, I think it kind of depends personally on who you're gonna kill.
Oh.
Thanks, buddy. I needed this. Anyways, as I was saying,
You shot me, you bastard! I'm dying! Dying! Oh, dying! Dying.
Oh, Norm. I guess
pulse check.
2 in the head, I guess.
Did nobody see Zombieland? You always
2
do
in
the
the
double
head.
tap.
5 more in the
All
head.
right.
The keystone has been removed. Your timeline is now secure.
You murdered Cronsworth. You animal.
It was with a heavy heart, if that makes any difference.
God damn it, Norm. You know, he still owed me $50.
Look, according to the TVA, Cronsworth was never supposed to return alive in this universe. If we didn't kill him, we were all going to get pruned.
It was a worthy sacrifice. He will be remembered with honor. Okay, let's jump out of here. We got a schedule to keep, people. Move it, move it. All right, well, okay. The upload schedule has been a little bit loosey-goosey for 1 to maybe, 8 to 10 months. Give us a break. This isn't a job. We don't get paid. Not complaining or anything, Disney. And thanks for listening, by the way. But technically, this is your fault, audience. Anyway, we love our listeners to death.
Yes. And please tell your friends about us.
Please.
Why are you guys acting so weird? Let's just get to the closing.
Stay tuned for more great discussions and interviews by catching us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, except Groundbreak can't listen anymore. Also, keep up to date on news and other important information by following us on X and Instagram at The Versecast or by visiting our website, theversecast.com.
And if you want to follow me specifically on your socials, you can find me on Instagram at EmiliaFU.
And if you follow me, Norm Felker, you can follow me on Twitter at random_white guy.
Don't follow him. He doesn't deserve it. And if you want to follow me because you can't follow Cronsworth, you can find me, Bridget Brogan, at Bridget Brogan16 on Instagram. My social media will be dark, though, for the next few days.
And all you followers of Cronsworth, he's gone now, so you can come follow me, Lucas, or Luconian Logic on Instagram, Threads, I think I'm on X, but I never go there. That's where the Nazis hang out.
Mm.
And finally,
Finally.
there's our producer, Stephen Prusakowski, who I'm hoping is feeling okay because he seems to be kind of absent lately. He's maybe got a flu, or Norm just murdered him mercilessly. We don't know.
You
Who
know,
knows?
I saw him recently constructing a fourth wall, but it looks kind of
Oh,
flimsy. So I hope it
I
doesn't
think we should break
break.
that down. Yes. Well, he can be found on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd as @FilmStorm.
Guys are
And
so
also check out
weird.
his other podcast, TV Topics, where he talks to people that are not a part of this podcast and are way more cool and famous than us.
You guys are so weird.
You know what, Norm? Stop it, okay? And you know what? There is our music. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time in...
The Verse is produced by Stephen Prusakowski.
All right, K-Dubs. Let's get you fixed up. So we can kill you again. Just to pad the runtime and make the podcast more exciting when we can't think of anything else for the script. See? I can do it too.